They told you honesty was a virtue. They lied. Every day you watch as the manipulators climb the ladder while you remain stuck in place, clutching your moral compass like a life preserver on a sinking ship. You think your integrity will save you. It won't. 500 years ago, a Florentine diplomat named Niccolò Machiavelli watched empires rise and fall. He saw princes who spoke truth become corpses. He saw liars who wore crowns, and he wrote it all down. Today, his lessons aren't just relevant, they're essential. The modern workplace is a battlefield disguised as an office building. While you're playing checkers with honesty and transparency, your colleagues are playing chess with calculated deception and strategic silence. They understand what you refuse to accept. Power isn't given to the deserving, it's taken by the strategic. You've been conditioned to believe that good work speaks for itself. That merit alone determines success. That truth will set you free. But freedom isn't the goal, power is, and power has its own rules. Rule 1: never reveal your full hand. The moment you expose your complete capabilities, you lose your greatest advantage: unpredictability. Your colleagues will categorize you, box you in, and limit your potential based on what they think they know. Machiavelli understood this instinctively. He wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Your appearance becomes your reality in the minds of others. Control that appearance, and you control their perception of your power. When you're too honest about your skills, you give your competition a roadmap to defeat you. When you're transparent about your ambitions, you hand them the weapons to destroy your dreams. Instead, be selective. Reveal competence gradually. Let them discover your abilities through carefully orchestrated demonstrations, not through boastful confessions. The executive who gets promoted isn't always the most qualified. They're the one who appears most qualified at the crucial moment. They understand that perception shapes reality, and reality shapes careers. Your honesty is being weaponized against you. Every time you admit uncertainty, you plant seeds of doubt in the minds of decision-makers. Every time you acknowledge a weakness, you provide ammunition for your enemies. This isn't about lying. It's about strategic truth-telling. Rule 2: master the art of strategic silence. Silence is not emptiness. It's potential energy waiting to be unleashed. While your colleagues fill every conversation with noise, you create space for others to project their own assumptions onto you. Machiavelli observed that the first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. But before you can choose your allies, you must become someone worth choosing. Silence creates mystery. Mystery creates intrigue. Intrigue creates influence. When you speak constantly, you diminish the value of your words. When you remain silent strategically, every word carries weight. Listen more than you speak. Observe more than you act. Let others reveal their strategies while you keep yours hidden. The meeting room is your coliseum. Every conversation is a battle for positioning. While others compete to be heard, you compete to be remembered. Your silence becomes their stage. They perform for you, revealing their weaknesses, their fears, their ambitions. Meanwhile, you remain an enigma. Enigmas are powerful because they cannot be easily defeated. You cannot attack what you do not understand. Rule 3: align with power, not with principles. Your principles are beautiful. They're also obstacles. Machiavelli wrote about the gap between how we ought to live and how we actually live. Those who navigate this gap successfully don't ignore principles. They subordinate them to pragmatism. This doesn't mean abandoning your values. It means understanding that your values are worthless if you lack the power to implement them. Identify the power centers in your organization. These aren't always the obvious ones. Sometimes the real influencer is the CEO's assistant. Sometimes it's the person who controls the budget. Sometimes it's the quiet individual who knows where all the bodies are buried. Align yourself with these power centers, not through obvious brown-nosing, but through strategic value creation. Make yourself useful to the people who matter. The idealist dies noble and forgotten. The pragmatist lives complex and influential. Your career isn't a moral philosophy course. It's a chess game where the pieces have feelings and the board is constantly shifting. Play accordingly. When principles conflict with advancement, choose advancement. You can always return to your principles once you have the power to enforce them. Rule 4. Create controlled chaos to reveal true loyalties. Chaos is a ladder, but most people don't know how to climb it. Machiavelli understood that crisis reveals character. When the pressure increases, people show their true nature. They abandon facades and reveal their authentic priorities. You can manufacture these pressure points, not through destructive sabotage, but through strategic challenges that force others to choose sides. Propose ambitious projects that require collaboration. Watch who steps forward and who steps back. Create scenarios where credit must be shared. Observe who tries to hoard recognition and who genuinely supports collective success. These moments of manufactured pressure become your intelligence-gathering operations. You learn who can be trusted, who will betray you when convenient, and who might become your greatest ally. Information is power, but information about people is absolute power. Every crisis is an opportunity to map the true power structure of your organization. The official org chart means nothing. The real org chart emerges during moments of stress. Position yourself as a stabilizing force during these manufactured crises. Be the person others turn to for clarity and direction. This positions you as a leader without requiring formal authority. Rule 5. Master the timing of revelation. Truth has an expiration date. Information that's powerful today becomes worthless tomorrow. The art lies in knowing when to deploy your knowledge for maximum impact. Machiavelli wrote extensively about fortune and timing. He understood that the same action can lead to triumph or disaster depending on when it's executed. Collect information constantly. Secrets, insights, observations, connections, everything is potential currency. But don't spend this currency immediately. Store it, catalog it, wait for the perfect moment when its value is highest. When you finally reveal what you know, the timing should feel inevitable, as if the universe itself conspired to make this the perfect moment for truth to emerge. The amateur reveals everything immediately. The professional waits for the opportune moment. The master creates the opportune moment. Your colleagues are constantly generating valuable intelligence through their careless words and unguarded moments. They complain about their managers. They reveal their frustrations. They share their ambitions. Most people forget these conversations immediately. You shouldn't. These casual revelations become your strategic advantage when properly timed and deployed. Rule 6. Become indispensable through calculated dependency. Job security isn't about being good at your job. It's about being impossible to replace. Machiavelli advised princes to avoid being both loved and feared simultaneously, but he emphasized that being indispensable transcends both emotions. When you become essential to the organization's functioning, your position becomes unassailable. Identify the critical processes that others avoid or don't understand. Master them. Become the person who holds the institutional knowledge that keeps the machine running. But here's the crucial element. Don't document everything. Keep certain key processes slightly mysterious. Ensure that replacing you would require significant effort and risk. This isn't about sabotage. It's about strategic value creation combined with calculated information control. The replaceable employee works hard. The indispensable employee works smart. Find the intersection between what the organization desperately needs and what you're uniquely capable of providing. Occupy that space completely. When budget cuts come, they eliminate the expendable. When promotions are available, they reward the essential. Rule 7. Use flattery as a weapon, not a weakness. Flattery is one of the most misunderstood tools of influence. Most people use it clumsily, like a hammer when they need a scalpel. Machiavelli observed that Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel. People believe what makes them feel good about themselves, even when logic suggests otherwise. But effective flattery isn't about obvious compliments, it's about strategic validation of their self-image. Study your targets. Understand how they see themselves versus how others see them. Find the gap between their self-perception and reality. Then carefully bridge that gap with subtle affirmations. The CEO who thinks they're innovative but is actually risk-averse needs different flattery than the manager who believes they're collaborative but is actually controlling. Crude flattery is obvious and therefore powerless. Sophisticated flattery is invisible and therefore devastating. When you validate someone's deepest self-perception, you create an emotional connection that transcends logic. They begin to associate you with feeling good about themselves. This emotional dependency becomes your leverage, not through manipulation, but through strategic emotional intelligence. Rule 8. Control the narrative through selective truth-telling. Every situation has multiple interpretations. The person who frames the narrative controls the outcome. Machiavelli understood that perception shapes reality more than facts do. The story people believe becomes more powerful than what actually happened. You don't need to lie. You just need to emphasize certain truths while allowing others to fade into the background. When projects fail, focus on the external factors rather than internal mistakes. When projects succeed, highlight your specific contributions while acknowledging team effort. This isn't about taking false credit. It's about ensuring that your role in positive outcomes is clearly understood, while your involvement in negative outcomes is contextualized appropriately. The passive participant gets forgotten. The active narrator gets remembered. History is written by those who control the story, not necessarily by those who control the events. In every meeting, every email, every casual conversation, you're either contributing to your own narrative or allowing others to write it for you. Rule 9. Maintain strategic relationships with your enemies. Your enemies are more valuable than your friends. Friends tell you what you want to hear. Enemies tell you what you need to know. Machiavelli wrote, "Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer." This isn't about manipulation. It's about information gathering and damage control. Your workplace enemies will try to undermine you whether you engage with them or not. By maintaining professional relationships, you gain early warning systems for their attacks. More importantly, you gain opportunities to influence their perception of you. Sometimes the person who dislikes you most becomes your greatest advocate once they truly understand your capabilities. The amateur avoids conflict. The professional manages conflict. The master transforms conflict into opportunity. Your enemies are studying you for weaknesses. Study them back. Understand their motivations, their fears, their pressure points. This knowledge becomes your protection. When you understand why someone opposes you, you can address the root cause rather than just the symptoms. Rule 10. Never appear to hunger for power. Power is like a cat. Chase it, and it runs away. Ignore it, and it comes to you. Machiavelli observed that those who appear most desperate for advancement are least likely to receive it. Desperation suggests weakness. Weakness repels power. Instead, cultivate an air of capability without ambition. Appear satisfied with your current position while demonstrating readiness for greater responsibility. When opportunities arise, express interest without desperation. Show confidence without arrogance. Display competence without boastfulness. The hungry employee gets scraps. The satisfied employee gets offers. Power flows toward those who appear least desperate to possess it. This counterintuitive truth explains why the most qualified candidates sometimes lose to those who seem less eager. Develop patience. Power rewards those who can wait for the right moment rather than those who grab for the first opportunity. Rule 11. Use others' ambitions against them. Everyone wants something. Your job is to figure out what that is and how to use it. Machiavelli understood that human nature is predictable. People will sacrifice principles for ambitions, betray allies for opportunities, and abandon loyalty for personal gain. This isn't cynicism, it's pragmatism. Study your colleagues' desires, the manager who wants recognition, the peer who seeks security, the subordinate who craves advancement. Position yourself as either a pathway to their goals or an obstacle to their fears, not through direct manipulation, but through strategic positioning. The naive employee trusts everyone. The paranoid employee trusts no one. The strategic employee trusts selectively. When you understand what motivates others, you can predict their behavior. When you can predict their behavior, you can influence their decisions. This influence isn't about control, it's about alignment. Help others achieve their goals while advancing your own. Rule 12. Master the art of strategic visibility. Visibility is a double-edged sword. Too little, and you're forgotten. Too much, and you become a target. Machiavelli advised that it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But in the modern workplace, it's better to be respected than either feared or loved. Respect comes from strategic visibility. Choose your moments to shine. Make them count. Don't seek attention for routine tasks. Save your visibility for moments of crisis, innovation, or leadership. When you do step into the spotlight, make sure you're prepared. Your reputation is built on these key moments, not on daily activities. The invisible employee gets forgotten. The overexposed employee gets targeted. The strategically visible employee gets promoted. Calculate your exposure. Know when to lead from the front and when to influence from behind. Sometimes the most powerful position is just outside the spotlight, where you can see everything without being fully seen. These aren't just career strategies. They're survival skills for the modern professional battlefield. Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to create tyrants. He wrote it to reveal the reality of power. 5 centuries later, that reality hasn't changed. Your honesty is a luxury you can't afford until you have enough power to protect it. Your transparency is a weakness until you're strong enough to defend it. The choice isn't between good and evil. It's between effective and ineffective. The world doesn't reward the pure of heart. It rewards those who understand the rules of the game and play them better than anyone else. Your career is not a morality play. It's a strategic campaign. And in strategic campaigns, the most dangerous enemy isn't the one who opposes you directly. It's the one who understands the rules better than you do. Stop playing by rules that don't exist. Start playing by the rules that do. The game is already in progress. The only question is whether you'll learn to win it or continue to lose it with honor. Machiavelli would be proud of those who learned his lessons. He would pity those who ignored them. Which will you be?